Today we are going to go over substitution method to solve systems of equations. So first, what is a system of equations? We've talked about this a couple times already. A system of equations is when we have two or more equations with multiple variables in a single problem. Since we're going over substitution method, first let's think about what substitution means. So think to yourself what substitution means. When I think of substitution, I think of we're going to plug one thing in for another. Or we're going to replace something. So with substitution, we're going to plug one thing in for another variable. This next slide shows our substitution steps. So the first thing that we'll do is we will solve one of the equations for one of its variables. That means we're going to get either our x or our y variable all by itself. Then we'll take what it equals and substitute that expression from the first step into the other equation. That will let us solve for one variable. Once you have what that variable equals, you'll take that and just plug it into one of the other equations. Make sure to always write your answer as an ordered pair. Remember, your x always goes before your y. So let's try a problem. We're going to solve this by substitution. So solving by substitution, I'm going to look at my equations. Now, which equation can I get one of my variables all by itself? If you've said the second equation here, x plus 5y equals negative 9, you're correct. What we can do is we can get this x all by itself by moving this positive 5y over to the other side. So think, how do we move positive 5y to the other side? We're going to subtract 5y. So on the left side of the equal sign, those add up to 0. So my y's are canceled out on the left side. Now I'm going to write my negative 5y first, minus 9. I could have wrote negative 9 minus 5y. Those are the same exact things. Now remember, you can't combine these terms because they are not like terms. So now we've changed the second equation. We got the x all by itself. What we're going to do is we're going to take what it equals, which is negative 5y minus 9, and we're going to plug that in to the other equation for x. So, alright, 4, then instead of x, I'm plugging in negative 5y minus 9. Then I just write the positive 3y equals negative 2, because I'm going to solve now for y. The first thing I should do is distribute the 4 to everything inside the parentheses. So 4 times negative 5y is negative 20y. 4 times negative 9 is negative 36. Plus 3y equals negative 2. So now we have a multi-step equation. We're going to combine our like terms. Remember, like terms are things that are similar to each other. They have same characteristics. So negative 20y plus 3y is negative 17y. I bring down the negative 36, set it equal to negative 2. There's two steps. I'll add 36 first to both sides. And then, so on the left side, those cancel out because they add up to 0. This will be 34. Divide by negative 17. So y equals negative 2. You have your y. Now you need to find your x. You're going to take negative 2 and plug it into one of these equations for y. It doesn't matter which equation you plug it in. You can plug it into that first one, that second one, or the one that you changed. I'm going to plug it into the one that I changed because that will tell me what my x is going to equal. So I'm plugging in -2 for y. So I'll multiply first. -5 times -2. Two negatives make a positive. So it's 10 minus 9. So 10 minus 9 is 1. There's my x. So 1, -2 is my solution. Remember, I wrote my answer as an ordered pair with my x first. Let's try another one. X plus y equals 2. 2x plus y equals 3. Think to yourself, which equation can you get a letter or a variable all by itself? Well, the top equation, you could get the x all by itself by moving the y to the other side, or you could get the y all by itself by moving the x to the other side. The second equation, you could move the 2x, and that'll get your y all by itself. So here you have many options. Since the 2x plus y equals 3 is here on the bottom and I have room to work, I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides to get my y all by itself. So -2x plus 3 equals y. Now I'm going to take -2x plus 3 and think to yourself, what variable are you going to plug it into in the top equation? Well, since it equals y, that's what you're going to plug it in for in their first equation. So I'll have x plus -2x plus 3 equals 2. You notice I don't have a number in front of -2x plus 3, so I don't have to distribute anything. I can go ahead and combine my like terms. So x, which is 1x, plus -2. So 1 minus 2 is -1x. It's 2 steps to get your x all by itself. Subtract 3 from both sides. So 2 minus 3 is -1. So x equals 1, because I'm dividing both sides by -1. Now just take your x, whatever you got, plug it into one of those equations. You can plug it into either the first two original equations or plug it into that second one that you changed. Since y is all by itself, I will just plug 1 in for x to find what y will be. So -2 times 1 is -2 plus 3. So y equals 1. So my ordered pair is 1, 1. What you could do to check it is plug 1, 1 back into those two original equations. Make sure that the left side of the equal sign will equal the right side. So if I plug it back in, I'm plugging 1 in for x, 1 in for y. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 equals 2. This one works. Plug it in here. 2 times 1 is 2. Plus 1 is 3. So the left side would be 3. That equals the right side of the equal sign. So yes, this works. Let's try one more. So 3x plus 2y equals 1. Then -2x plus y equals 4. Look at both equations. See which equation that you can get a variable all by itself pretty easily. The top equation, not so much. The second equation, you have this y, so add 2x to both sides. That will get your y variable all by itself. So y equals 2x plus 4. So now, you're going to take 2x plus 4, plug it in for y into the first equation. So 3x plus 2. Well, now instead of y, I'm plugging 2x plus 4. equals 1. Think, what is the first thing you should do? Distribute that 2 to everything inside your parentheses. 3x. 2 times 2x is 4x. 2 times 4 is 8. And that equals 1. So now we are going to combine our like terms. Remember, like terms are things that are similar to each other. So these are like terms because they both have x variables. 3 plus 4 is 7x plus 8 equals 1. 2 steps to get your x all by itself. First thing we have to do is move this 8 to the other side because we want to get 7x all by itself first. So 7x equals 1 minus 8 is negative 7. Divide both sides by 7. These 7s, they've simplified down to 1. Negative 7 divided by 7 is negative 1. You have your x variable. Now you need to find your y variable. Plug negative 1 in for x into any of these 3 equations. Your 2 original ones or the one that you've changed. Just like the 2 problems before this, I've always plugged it into the one that I've changed, because once I multiply negative 1 times 2 then add 4, that will tell me what y is. So negative 2 times, 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 plus 4. Combine those terms, negative 2 plus 4 is positive 2. So your answer, as an ordered pair, you write your x first, which is negative 1, your y is 2. So here's how we solve systems by substitution method. We will get into more with setting up word problems where we can solve them by substitution, or we could, once we learn elimination, we could solve them by that. That's all for today. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll see you later.